Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this rather wonderful July afternoon with myself, James Denny, CEO of Sales Geek. I have a couple of amazing guests for you to have a chat to today and listen to. I have Nigel Eatoff and I have John Wilkinson. They'll do their own introductions in a moment. But the purpose of this call today is for those of you that are thinking, is a life of a geek worth it? Should I be a geek? Do I want to be a geek? Is this something I want to do? Is it something that's in your wheelhouse? Is it something you're thinking about? Are you bored in corporate life or wherever it is you've been in the past? And you're thinking about adventures new? I've got two great guests to share their experiences and what it means to think about a journey with Geek. And then more importantly, what their experience was like on onboarding. So that first couple of weeks when you first join Geek, what could you expect? What goes on? What's all the good stuff? What's the things you want to think about? Things you want to learn? And away we go from there. So if you do have questions, do please pose them. This is recorded as well, so it will go out and you can post your questions post the recording. You can send it into Geek and we'll be sure to respond to you as soon as we possibly can. So let me get into introduce my guests, and as I said, it's Nigel and John. So the first thing I'd like to do, gents, if I can, is get you to say a little bit about yourselves, and mostly could you elaborate a little bit about your history? Where were you before the momentous day where you decided, you know what, I'm going to be a geek, and you signed your contract and you found your way here? That's amazing. What was going on in your world in your terms of work or your life experience or whatever that you thought, yeah, this is now something for me and I want to do this? So Nigel, maybe I can ask you to join in first.
Sure. Okay, so I moved my family down to Cornwall in Bude a couple of years ago, and the role I was doing before, I was a regional sales director for a very large software company. Been there a long time. Had a great, successful career there. But with all large businesses, there's change a lot. In fact, that was the one sort of a constant, and it just so happened that once I'd moved down there, I've been there around sort of 9-12 months, and there's some changing structures, and I was given the opportunity to do something a bit different. So started looking around what I was doing there, and funny enough, I'd spoken to Sales Geek about 12-18 months previous, but yeah, so that's 25 years in the AEC sector, selling software and services. So that's where I was before.
Brilliant. And what, I know you said you sort of like been looking at Geek before there, but what was the journey to start to look at this sort of thing? Did you look solely at Geek? Did you look at other things? What drew you this way as opposed to anywhere else?
I've been with the company a long time. Great organisation, had a great career, but I really was thinking about what I should do maybe next for the next sort of phase of my career, my journey, and always wanted to go back into run my own business. Funny enough, I always thought running your own business was the way to move forward, and I'd done that 25 years ago. I set up a company to resell a software solution, and thought that was going to be my kind of like a life moving forward. That company then got bought, and then ended up joining the larger organization where I've been ever since. What was funny was that I had a good time, so I sort of put working for myself on the back burner, but in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, really, I want to be doing something on my own, but we was waiting for that fantastic idea to pop in, and all of a sudden I was going to be start a new business, and away we go. And like so many things, that brilliant idea never really came along. But I was looking, and can't remember exactly how it happened, but certainly the opportunity, the Sales Geek thing came across my desk, and I did have a conversation with Sales Geek, and thought, actually, do you know what? This just fits perfectly into what I do and the vision of kind of running my own business. But at the time, very successful. Just the timing just didn't seem to just wasn't quite right. So fast forward kind of 18 months, slight change in circumstances, and then I came back to the Sales Geek and said, actually, now might be perfect to look at this. And I wanted to build a local business. I moved to the Devon and Cornwall area, and I want to be part of the local community, the local business community. And that was a big driver in looking at Sales Geek, because I can give back. It's all about a bit of contribution to the businesses that you work with and where you are. And that was a big factor in deciding that, yes, the timing is great. I've now got the opportunity.
Brilliant.
Crucially, as well, wanted to go into business, but it's it's challenging, as we know. I mean, to do it all by yourself, but with the support of Sales Geek kind of behind me, it looked like a winning combination. So yes, that was
Thank you very much.
a big factor. And then I came up and I met everybody, and that kind of cemented the decision to do it as well.
Good old Geek Bunker. Yeah, good effort. Well, thank you for that, Nigel. Thank you. John, give us your journey before getting into signing the contract and joining us on day one.
Yeah, good morning there, James. So I suppose you could say that I came through the traditional sales trajectory, having been an individual performer for the first 10 years of my career, and then the subsequent 15 years of my career becoming a sales manager, sales director, member of the senior management team. And I was lucky enough to do that across lots of different types of businesses, from startups to very established and large businesses. And in the last 10 years of my career, I worked for 3 different companies. And there were recurring themes, even though those companies weren't in the same industries, they weren't the same size and shape. I noticed that I was being pulled into a lot of politics, bureaucracy, and actually the emphasis on being a really good sales leader was becoming less and less, despite interested parties, shareholders, investors wanting those parts of the business to improve. So in seeing this, I took a conscious step to move into sales operations specifically for 2 years, where I was able to really drill down into imparting some of those disciplines within a large business, but felt I was missing some of the sales director piece as well. So alongside this, at the same time, I'm thinking, what next in my career? And I was reminded how I'd like to run a business. I was really interested in sales education, and Sales Geek or a similar business could be the perfect vehicle to make this happen. And that's when I started, I suppose you can call it an investigation, because it did last a long time. I had the luxury of time on my side to investigate these next steps. And that's when I investigated Sales Geek and other alternatives.
Brilliant. And through that investigation, you said alternatives there, you're looking at some other things. What sort of helped you narrow those alternatives out and Geek was the thing for you?
Yeah, so actually I had 3 options in total, Sales Geek being one of those. I won't name the other 2 specifically. I think it's best not to. Not for any negative reasons, actually, but just out of courtesy for those businesses. One was, let's say, a coaching and sales training business, which focused almost entirely on its curriculum. It was not a particularly strong, recognized brand in the UK, but was very strong on the continent in Europe. But it wasn't a business in something that I could touch and feel in terms of support in the UK. It was very much going to be, solo, you're on your own, you've got a great curriculum, of course, only as good as it's being taught, supported, kept up, maintained. And you'd have to go it alone almost entirely. So I was drawn to the quality of the curriculum at that time. And then the other option was a franchisee opportunity, with some of the same, let's say, context that maybe Sales Geek brings, but nowhere near as mature. And actually a product set, because it was being established, was quite narrow. So from my perspective, when I compared that, which I ultimately did, against Sales Geek, there wasn't a track record of success yet. If I was going to be this full-time trainer, sales director, coach or mentor, I didn't feel the curriculum was yet up to speed in terms of being able to point that at all the different scenarios that I'd come across. And these are the areas where, you know, I think Sales Geek has a very, very good, solid, rounded offering, not only in terms of its different product sets. You yourself know, James, is it 12, is it 14, but it covers a whole range of disciplines which we come across the need for all the time. I could see that franchisees had been successful, and I was able to position myself in a business that, you know, wasn't just doing these things for the first time, but we had some track record, and that played out in terms of the success of the franchisees. And then the support was second to none. I was lucky to meet a number of franchisees and talk to some, meet some others. I was fortunate to come up to head office before I made a commitment and meet the team, including yourself, Richard, the founder, and other members of the team, which are instrumental in its success today. And yeah, I was able to get a very, very good feeling about the business before I committed to the business.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. So the eagle-eyed among you will notice that we opened the call and I introduced Nigel and John, and suddenly there's a fourth person sat there. And we didn't say who that was, but that's because we were full flow. And there was a little moment there where I thought Naranjan might not make this because I know that he's very busy in his home territory, and I'll let him explain in a moment that he's busy working with clients and doing some things that he might not have got here. But I'm delighted to say that we do have a third panelist joining us today, which is Naranjan. And Naranjan, where are you today? Are you in Malaysia? Are you in India? Where are you?
No, I'm in India today. Yeah.
You're in India today. So it's worth a little bit of further context. And I'm going to get Naranjan to talk about his background and what brought him here, because there's three different viewpoints that we have on this call. We've got Nigel's viewpoint. Nigel has joined us as a franchisee. He's a full franchisee. He owns his own territory. He's got a wonderful part of the UK down in the southwest. And then we've got John, who's also a franchisee, but has entered the business in a slightly different way. He's a business owner in conjunction with another franchisee. So they've done something together. And then we've got a different view again, which we've got Naranjan's view. And Naranjan is a master territory owner, and he owns a whole country, which is actually Malaysia. So congratulations, Naranjan, our newest master territory owner here. And thank you for joining us. So perhaps you could give us a little bit of a view of your background, because I know yours is pretty varied. So what's your background and how did you find Geek?
Thank you, James. Thank you, Nigel and John. Good to see you again away from the training room. Just to tell you that I've got my Geek t-shirt here.
John did say, should I go and put mine on? And we said, yeah, you should. You're going to look really bad otherwise.
So I was supposed to be coming like this, but unfortunately, in probably 15 minutes time, I have to pop into this Japanese delegation. They have come in to sign an MOU, so I have to be a little suited.
Of course, you have to look smarter than we do. I get you.
But anyway, it's great to meet all of you. So James, just to tell you about my background is, I'll start from the beginning. So I'm basically come from a very, in my corporate experience, hardcore retail sales and operations to start off with. So I studied retail degree in the University of Surrey in South England. And I worked for some of the British brands as well, like Marks and Spencer, House of Fraser then. Then I was in Dubai. And also I had the opportunity to get experience with Scientific Mall Consultancy. So if you ever been to Dubai, then you see some of the largest malls in the world, like, Mall of Emirates, the chain of city centers all the way from Cairo to Muscat. So I was a senior retail analyst for the Majid Al Futtaim, the mall account. So we were responsible for mall feasibility and annual performance benchmarking for those big malls. So that was a good exposure for me. Post that, I always wanted to settle down in India. So that's my actually home country. So I came back to Delhi and in Mumbai, still in the corporate fashion retail industry. Then one day I wanted to sort of make a jump, or sort of an entrepreneurial bug bit me when I was in Mumbai. So I quit my job overnight. That was 13 years ago. And I came back to where I'm sitting today, which is around 45 million people in this part of the region called the Northeast India, from where a lot of this tea comes, like Assam tea and Darjeeling tea. So I wanted to do some impact work here. So I founded education and a training company. So we have impacted more than 65,000 youth in terms of employment, 36,000. And we also got into higher education as such. And now I have built this company, I mean, in the last 12, 13 years, very happy with it. So now, why Sales Geek? So I think it comes to back again to my DNA of being obsessed with sales and the way that I started my career with sales. So I was missing that sales part of it. That's one. And then suddenly when I got to know, Richard and James through common friends and common contacts, I mean, I really like the conversations that we have had, and the kind of the sale process of getting a master license for Malaysia was nothing that was pushed to me, but rather it happened through conversations and through discoveries as well. And why Malaysia? Because Malaysia is one of the one of the most strongest economies in the Asian nations, along with Indonesia and Vietnam and all of that, including Singapore. And plus Malaysia is an English speaking nation. So I'm always adventurous in terms of my business. I have made some mistakes as well in the past, but then those mistakes have enabled me to sort of have great lessons, fail fast, and move on. So Sales Geek is something which I thought that I should take up, and I'm very happy that I've taken up because I love the people that I've interacted with, number one. Number two, I think the most important factor, which has really, really driven me strong to take up Sales Gig, is the value system and the culture of Sales Gig. I really felt it when I came to HQ. John had the fortunate opportunity of meeting so many franchisees and coming to HQ, but I took a leap of faith when I came to HQ. And when I checked it out, the vibe was great. People were amazing. And I think this is the brand that I should go for. So I'm really happy that I'm with Sales Geek, James.
Thank you very much, Narendra. Very kind words. Thank you for that. So there's a little bit of your background and stories to join us. Then ultimately there's contracts and all that sort of great stuff. Fees are paid, and here you are on a sunny or not so sunny. Can't remember, Nigel, whether it was sunny when you joined us. I think it was sunny when you two gents joined us, John and Naranjan. You're here in Blackburn. You're up at the Geek Bunker, and you're here for a week. So back to you, Nigel. Can you remember, number one, back then, and can you give those watching and listening today a little bit of insight about what onboarding week looks like for them, or what it was like for you?
First of all, I couldn't wait to get to onboarding. So I think I signed the contract, and I had to wait about 3 weeks before I could really sort of get to HQ to kind of get started. And that was the most frustrating 3 weeks I've had for a long time, just itching to get out of the blocks. And one thing that I've learned of this period is that Sales Geek have a well-defined process that works. Okay, and that's one of the reasons that I signed up. It's like, because it was quite clear that there was success previously, and right from the word go, I've been very humble and said, look, just tell me what works, tell me how you've done it, and I'll just replicate that. I will replicate that. That's part of the reason that you buy into a franchise. You have a model that works. So the daftest thing that you could possibly do is come in, think you know better, and try something different. Why would you do that? So I was very keen to get going. And I have to say that, the onboarding week was more than delivered, more than delivered. I mean, I haven't eaten quite as much food in a while.
I was
We
going to
were
ask
looked
that
after.
later, but
We were looked after, you know, brilliantly by Million and everybody there, and the enthusiasm from the team while we were in the bunker in Blackburn was just phenomenal. So I mean, I think everybody's mentioned. I mean, the ethos and the culture of the Sales Geek group is just infectious and good to see. And what's key as well, it's not forced. It's quite obvious that everybody working in HQ, everybody that I've met, is bought in a really good way to what Sales Geek, what we're trying to do, you know, by changing the world, the way the world perceives sales, and that comes through from everybody. So I loved it. I what was annoying, I think I started to annoy people as well, because I mean, you know, things are going well when your next question that you have pops up and they go, well, we're about to do that. And it's like, all right, then, fair enough. I'll try and wait, you know, but the week was very well planned and thoroughly enjoyable. And one of the key reasons that I agreed to chose Sales Geek was when I came up to visit prior to signing. I, I wanted to see the product. I wanted to see what was behind it, so that we were clear when you go out and you represent it, the substance, and it's, you know, something that actually works and something that is valuable, and that was certainly the case. So no, onboarding was great through the week. I think the worst thing was obviously you get to Friday and then you've got to go out and it's Monday and you've got to get started.
yeah.
So no,
Great, thank you. I'm
phenomenal.
going to come back and ask you a couple more questions in a moment. Naranjan, I think I heard you say just a minute ago that you might have to drop off and meet your guest again in a minute. So perhaps I could ask you the same question. What did you join? And then John, I'll come to you if that's okay, because in case Naranjan has to jump off.
No
what
problem.
did you like about the week? And we will talk about the food and beer, because I think that is a part of the week, right? But what did you like about the week itself? What was the thing that you know, spoke to you about it?
Okay. For me, I think the best part, I mean, I'm not trying to appreciate too much about it, but at the same time, let me be open enough to say something that I have attended quite a few onboarding in my life, right? You know, in different companies and all of that. And I felt that the one that I had with Sales Geek probably is probably not even the one of the best, but the best, in the sense that the structure was given out properly. And there have been onboarding which lasted 10 days sometimes, and it's very tiresome and very, you know, it really gets to you, you know, it's, you know, but 5 days was just perfect. I felt, you know, almost a week of onboarding. So I felt, I also liked the way it was very well structured, agenda was set properly. And what I felt about Sales Geek is that when you did the onboarding, right, your senior leadership team came in. And what I love about Sales Geek onboarding is that, like, only John and myself were there in the training room. And there was a proportion of 2:2 kind of attention which was given to, you know, to the participants. So I felt, from my view, that the senior leadership team is very, very invested, you know. There have been other onboardings where just one person comes in and, you know, takes care of the whole day. But here, I felt that you guys are really invested in our learning. And also, one thing you made it very, you took it very carefully, is that, you know, you do not overwhelm us in the onboarding, right? You kept it very simple. You thought you sort of try to open up Sales Geek to us. But to be very honest, yesterday I was running through your YSD and you know, all the YSM and all of that on the video, and I could see the whole wide world of Excel sheet, and I was getting overwhelmed with that. So I knew that you were taking it gentle at the onboarding, which is very, very important for new geeks like us. But I know for a fact that you were giving us assurance that, you know, it's a thing that could be mastered. You know, as we get deeper into the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I felt that it was the best onboarding that I've ever had, and I felt the kind of hospitality and the warmth that you showed at the office at the HQ bunker was great. So I felt at home, to be very honest. I didn't miss India at all at that time.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Ranjan. Thank you for that. Did you manage to lose a few pounds now that you got back?
No, I put on because of the dinner with John and a few beers here and there.
And a little dancing as well, Naranjan, I seem to recall on a famous evening.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, we had it on the last evening with karaoke, and we had good fun with the team. Yeah.
I won't say that's mandatory when you come to onboarding that you have to dance and do karaoke, but I'd say Naranjan embraced that one. It's fair to say. Fair play. Thank you for that. John, what was your experience? I mean, you were there with Naranjan, right? It was your first week together. So the two of you, and I know the food featured yet again.
I missed the dancing on the last day, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. I did too. I have to go away
at a later date. Yeah, so try not to kind of repeat all of the positives that Naranjan highlighted there. I mean, look, from a making you feel welcome perspective, from me, it was more, it really, the people around us, the whole head office team really helped me understand the culture of the business. Yes, the symptoms were, they were very, very caring, and et cetera, but it was because everybody at head office, stays in their lane, various levels of support for all elements of the business, and everybody's so passionate and shares the same mantra around the business. And that for me is even better than a great week that we spent with you. That's for me a snapshot of how the business is going to continue to support me and my team members, throughout time. And yeah, I mean, we only spent a week at head office, but it's only the first week of 6, if you like, in the overall training program. And what I think was very good and clearly has been adapted over time and experience and feedback is that 2 core things are very important at Sales Geek. And the first is selling what we do, and the second is delivering. And delivery is an ongoing journey because it involves content and education, and sales skills are really best served raw, face to face. And that's what a lot of those sessions were focused on, not just the content, but how we share this with our prospects and how we drive that sales process. For me, that's absolutely one of the most important things to get across as soon as possible in the process. And indeed, we covered many of those elements. And not only that, some of the questions I had for the various subject matter experts, and I can think of at least 3 off the bat, you might be one of those, James, was they were able to take my questions, sometimes coming from different angles because I've joined a more mature business. And I'm thinking at some points, other things than just the normal suite of things for a brand new franchisee. And that was great as well. So I got a great deal of benefit from that first week.
Brilliant. Thank you. Right, I'm gonna do some quick fire open questions, and you're all welcome to just chip in if you have one. So thinking caps on. This is going to be a hard one, and if you sat there suddenly now twiddling your thumbs, it's probably not a great one. What was the biggest thing you learned in your week?
I think for me, the session that you took along with Becky and the whole funnel thing that we spoke about from
recruitment
recruitment part of it, that was great. And also one session that really also stays on my mind is the psychology of sales taken by Richard as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those 2 really stayed on my mind. I mean, at the top of my mind, though I can recall the rest as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about just to add to that because it was fresh in my memory, Naranjan. we also did a session with Richard, and it was identifying all the different levels of influencer within our network, and really, again, this is coming from somebody who's run this business as a franchisee, or same as a franchisee for several successful years. And it was really interesting to see all the different avenues for building out that network, the do's and the don'ts, how to kind of curate ambassadors from the network, which obviously leads to potential sales. And that was a real chip off the old block type moment, which Richard was able to impart with us, which would have taken us years to learn. So some really valuable things like that, which were just comes with experience, refining the program, and really understanding what's valuable to franchisees in the early stages. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Thanks, John. Nigel?
Yeah, a few highlights. I mean, one quick one, just referred to some of the sessions we went through, and I did feel for estate agents, and when we go through kind of like how people make decisions, and it only takes 8 seconds generally for somebody to decide whether they're going to buy a house when they walk through the door. It's like, good grief. But a great anecdote, which I've already used several times, because I mean, it's just one of those little things that catches people's imaginations, and just reminding myself that onboarding was a process, and just like building the franchise out and the business out is a process. And to John's point, it's been done before. So and the best thing you can do is take that learning and listen and use it, and then come back for more feedback, and pick these things up as you go along. So no, I mean, it was there's multiple things, but the key thing was, if you do this, these things will happen. And like some things in life, you have to trust the process, and just go out and then do. So no, that was one of the key takeaways.
Yeah, sales is a process, right? As much as you can freewheel it, and there is a lot of sales dialogue where it's frameworks, but there's always a framework. You've always got to operate within a framework, and the moment you're a sales head and go outside that framework, well, it doesn't mean you don't get success, but you greatly limit what your chances might well be. I've got a couple of more serious questions for you, but before I do, you can shout this out, because we've riffed off it a couple of times. What was your favorite meal out? What was the favorite dinner? We went to some places, right?
I don't know, but about some Wednesday lunchtime, I was full.
It's got to be the pizza place, the new pizza place. I left a review. I was the first person to review it, but it was amazing. I've never heard 5 noisy human beings be so quiet when those pizzas were served. But no, that was lovely. Very authentic.
Very good. Naranji, what did you like?
Yeah, I think I liked the Italian restaurants that we went to. I think the restaurant at Wally.
Yeah, the Wally one. It was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. And the second one was also nice in Clitheroe. However, I also, I mean, if I could get into the lunch part of it, I really like the crust. Crust is a staple, man. Everyone loves crust. Yeah. It's fair to say breakfast, lunch, and tea, dinner, whatever your preference for the terminology of that is, there's a fair amount of it on, and maybe a beer or two. And now we've added karaoke and dance to it, it seems. So Nigel, next time you come up for a bit, maybe a quarterly meeting.
I'm quite pleased I missed that bit.
Okay. Thank you for that. So another quick question then. So now you're outside of onboarding, right? You're fresh back. Naranjan, you only landed a little while back, right? Back into your world, and you've got a lot of other things going on. As a master, your world is slightly different to others. But certainly for John and Nigel, you're out there. You're starting to do it. We've got another 6 weeks together of different training sessions. What's the big thing that maybe you've kept from onboarding that you're applying today? Forget what's still to be learned, other things to be brought up, etc. But something that you dragged with you from onboarding that, this has been useful in your day-to-day, out and about now, whatever, because I know you guys are out there talking and servicing clients, because Nigel, you got clients.
Well, I think the key thing that I wanted to get from onboarding and then moving forward was how we position ourselves and how you start those initial conversations. Because I mean, that's in all walks of selling. It's like actually catching that interest and being able to articulate what makes us different and why we should continue the conversation is key, and that's kind of ongoing. I mean, one of the things we do a lot of is we go out and talk to new people, and although we try and keep them talking about themselves, inevitably they ask, what do you do? And if you can do that succinctly about our mission and what we do and how we do it, that's key. And so that's ongoing. But that was the one thing. It's kind of like I was looking from onboarding is how do we encompass all this great stuff that we have to offer to make it digestible that people can understand. I mean, so because there's so much that we can do. It's kind of capturing that essence of, in a nutshell, this is what we do to help you deliver more revenue, grow your business, and just enhance where you are.
Brilliant, thank you, John.
Yeah, especially coming from a different sales background, the typical sales background where a product's already established for you, and there's quite a clear and often me too way of marketing the product and the business. When it comes to marketing yourself, it's a very different bag. And I think with all the experience that you think you bring to the table, especially if you've been doing this for 25 years, you expect to, at a networking event, I suppose, be all things to all people, convert your first sale in the first 10 minutes, and bag your first piece of business by the end of the session. And I think you can put yourself under a lot of pressure thinking that's the right way to do things. And therefore, it was music to my ears when Richard shared, how things really pan out and how actually subtle reinforcement and subtle planting of seeds in terms of what we do and how our approach works, it is actually much more likely the way to grow the network and be referable. So that's helped me in terms of positioning, social media positioning, network positioning from day one, and that's really, really critical to kind of keep the wind in the sails from that perspective, because that's one of the most important things to start to do as soon as we leave the training, I feel. So yeah, it was very good from that perspective, keeping me going.
Brilliant. Niranjan, it's a bit different for you because you haven't had time to apply much of this yet, because as a master you're still getting set up some things there, but whilst on the plane going home, getting yourself back set in India, is there anything that you thought or dragged back out with you from that first week that you're applying or thinking about starting to use now?
Right. What I've started to do is with what we discussed in onboarding about my social media. So I'm covering, I really want my followers and connections to know that where did I go missing in July?
Yeah.
So I'm telling them that I was out of the office, out of the country. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sort of updating them about onboarding. So I'm going every day on video. I'm explaining what did I do on a day 1, day 2, day 3. And finally, I'm going to declare that, we have taken the master licensee for Malaysia. So that's one bit of a piece of a news for my followers. And another thing that I'm doing on Instagram and on my Facebook is that I'm announcing to people that, we have incorporated a company in Malaysia by the name of JCRE Global, which is taking the brand Sales Geek as the master licensee. So all of those things are going on. And also making conversations with people about, like, if you have top line issues, we are the guys to speak to.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're nearly finished. We're going to wrap it up, but I suppose the question is, looking further afield, the purpose of this call was to talk about really your experience of onboarding for the first week. Is it fair for me to say and you can challenge me. I don't mind if you want to go yes, no, but bear in mind this is 6 weeks. Onboarding is 6 weeks. We've just talked about week 1 really, and going into next week. Do you guys feel confident when you leave on a Friday and you're going back and you're decompressed for a weekend? As Nigel said earlier, Friday it all starts because you hit your boots hit the ground on the Monday morning. Does onboarding give you enough confidence to think, yeah, okay, with everything else that's yet to come, I feel good that I can go start my business? Please say yes.
So far, so good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've never parted a question like that before. So well, but anyway, there you go.
Well, because of course, I mean, you take on a new venture, a new role. It's no different. It's kind of what you want to walk away after the first week of on board is, yes, I made the right decision.
Yeah.
It's like, and yes, it's like I've committed to something, and now I'm in it. It's like, but it's the right thing to do. And yeah, by Friday, I mean, that was, any doubts was kind of like, yes, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. It's what I thought it was going to be. And and now it's kind of like, all we need to do is go and deliver. So yes, and I had the utmost confidence in Sales Geek as a whole. Everybody that I've met since and during that week just cemented that this is where I belong, and this is something that I can deliver and have a lot of fun doing, and bring something to the region, the people that I'm working with. So yeah, no, I walked away encouraged and excited about what the future is going to bring.
Brilliant, thank you, Nigel. Sorry, no, thank you, Nigel. What I meant to say, John, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really echo what was said before. It certainly validated, the decision I've made coming into the business, and I was able to see not just on show, if that makes sense, all those resources around me in my onboarding week were certainly not going to stop their support and level of interest in me being successful when I left the office. And it's been a week, since we've had a week away from the training, obviously being involved in other types of online support and catch-up sessions and things like that. And that level of support and enthusiasm, and also I'd like to say tailored support as well. I think that's important. The conversation fits. It's not just, verbatim, this is what you need to do. We get into the weeds on things where we need to, and it really helps me continue my faith that the program works very, very well. And what I'm asking, they're just not the first time you've heard these questions, etc., etc. So I continue to get a very warm feeling and a robust feeling in terms of the support mechanisms around.
Thank you. Naranjan?
Yeah. For me, I think once I completed the week's onboarding, I was comfortable with the values and the culture of the organization. And to top it up, I think the context was set very well in terms of what could be expected in the coming weeks. And also the depth that Sales Geek has, and which I found in the even yesterday when I deep dived into the content as well. So I would consider Sales Geek as the specialist when it comes to sales. I have that trust and belief, and I feel that. And also, James, you are aware that I come from a business coaching background, so I am quite. When I looked at the content, it's pretty much there, up to date, very sharp. There's a lot of depth in your content. I must tell you that. And I thought that I'm with some good stuff here, with good frames, good tools to work upon. So if I spend more hours and dabble with them, and I know for sure that I'll feel comfortable, and that should give me enough confidence to grow this as a business. That's what I believe in. Let me see what is there for me.
Good, thank you for that. And I know actually Nigel, I don't know if he's there actually, you're having, as part of your weeks 2 to 6, you're experiencing some of that additional support. Is he still there? Is one of those support mechanisms behind you? Do you want to put your head around?
Yes, the famous Tom. He can come and put his head into the.
So if you're a
Yes.
UK geek, can you come and say hello? One of your weeks 2 to 6.
Bring a bit of glamour to proceedings. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone there. So Tom is out in the field with Nigel today, doing some cool stuff. So that's always good. Well, I just want to say thank you very much, gentlemen, for sharing your insights and your journey here today and your first week. I'm gonna close on one question for each, or you can just jump in. I don't mind. Where do you see yourself now that you're running 3 different types of businesses? You've got Nigel, your business, all yours, down in the Southwest, serving that Southwest community. John, business partner with another geek, building a partnership and a business empire between 2 of you, and then Niranjan, an entire country level. I'm not sure if you can answer this, but I'm going to pose the question. Where do you guys see yourself in 6 to 12 months for your business? For you and your business, where do you see yourself?
I don't mind going first because
Cool, go on. John's got a plan.
We've been talking about this a lot, being that I've joined an established geek, let's say, but not an established business model. Not that it's any different to Sales Geek, but we want to expand quickly. We've got a large territory in which to do that. I can see all 3 of us being full within 12 months, needing to talk about the next new member of our team. And that's where we're firmly focused. We're only 2 weeks into the first month of a 12-month strategy to do that, but that's the trajectory that we want to be on the tail of in 12 months' time.
Brilliant, lovely. Nigel and Niranjan, where do you guys want to be?
Can I go?
Niranjan, straight in there.
Yeah. For me, in a 6 months' time, I see very quickly myself installing a very small team, working out of a co-working space. And in 6 months' time, I want to sell out Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. Those are the 2 states that I have. So yeah, hopefully by the end of 6 months, I want to have at least 3 franchise scale up.
Beautiful, man of ambition, like it. Nigel, how about you, sir?
Well, you know, my ambition was to start here. I won't be by myself in 12 months' time, and I won't be just in this region either. I mean, the goal was always to get this territory up and running and then expand. It's like I see massive opportunity for Sales Geek in the Southwest generally, and it's just a case of now taking the steps, but following the process, but then expanding as quickly as we possibly can. So no, I'm not lonely. I've got the support of Tom and everybody else, and that's the beauty of joining a franchise like Sales Geek. You know, it's our own business, but we're not in business by ourselves. So, but I will certainly be looking to start relatively soon. You know, before the year ends, I will be looking to bring other geeks on board in the region, and I can only see that growing from there. So no, exciting times.
Brilliant. I like that. It's your own business, but you're not in business on your own. It's very good. I do like that. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for giving up your precious time. I know all 3 of you are exceptionally busy. You specifically, Niranjan, because you've got to go and meet your Japanese contingent. So good luck with that and that meeting this afternoon. Yeah. John, thank you very much for taking your time today. Nigel, it's always delight to see you. Hello, Tom. So if you've enjoyed the live stream today, this was just a bit of an insight from new geeks and their journey into the organization and then what onboarding looks like. If you've got further questions, you can reach out to any of these 3 good gentlemen. I'm sure they'll give you insight personally without being on the call and having a geek in there. And if you want to know more, you can reach out to us at Sales Geek HQ, of course. And keep a lookout for all the other future live streams that we got coming up. We do 1 a month, every month. Most of them are geared around services, the things that we talk about. They could be things around psychology, sales stuff, training, who knows? Lots of great things, lots of great geeks. Come and enjoy your geekdom with us, and we shall see you all soon. Thank you very much.